Guarantee you don't know just how weird and fascinating U.S. geography is. If you want to wow your friends and acquaintances at the next party you go to, here are 15 incredible facts you need to know about the geography of the United States. And let's start with a state that's both the easternmost and westernmost state in the U.S. We're talking about Alaska. This fascinating geographic quirk comes from the fact that the Aleutian Islands, a very long chain of volcanic islands extending from Alaska into the Pacific Ocean, crosses the 180th meridian, the line that separates the western and eastern hemispheres. Because of this, part of Alaska technically lies in the eastern hemisphere, making it both the westernmost and easternmost state in the country. Now, let's move on to something that'll blow your mind. Maine is actually closer to Africa than Florida. Yeah, you heard that right. The closest point in the US to Africa is a place called Quoddy Head in Maine. If you were to sail straight east from there, you'd hit El Aaiún in Western Sahara, Africa, which is about 3,154 miles away. From Miami, it's around 4,025 miles, meaning Maine is closer by about 800 miles. Next, let's talk population. If you draw a line just west of San Antonio, Texas, about 80% of Americans live east of it and only 20% live to the west. That's wild considering how massive the western half of the country is. It's all about geography. Deserts, mountains, and protected lands make huge parts of the West less livable.
Speaking of wide open spaces, Wyoming has more cows than people. Seriously. The state's population is around 580,000, but it has well over 1 million cattle. So if you ever visit Wyoming, you're way more likely to meet a cow than a neighbor. The border between the United States and Canada is the longest international border in the world, about 5,525 miles long. It stretches from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific, crossing the Great Lakes, forests, and even mountains. What's even more interesting is how peaceful it is. No big walls or military zones, just an invisible line that separates two massive countries. Now, the Great Lakes, Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario hold about 21% of the world's surface fresh water. That's insane! They're like inland seas, covering over 94,000 square miles. They were carved out by glaciers thousands of years ago and still play a huge role in trade, shipping, and even weather patterns. And check this out. Colorado looks perfectly rectangular on the map, but it's not actually a perfect rectangle. When surveyors drew the borders in the 1800s, their tools weren't precise. With modern GPS, we now know its borders are slightly crooked and uneven. Same thing with other square-looking states like Wyoming and Utah. Now, did you know the US has a rainforest? Yep, the Tongass National Forest in Alaska is actually the largest temperate rainforest in the world. It covers about 16.7 million acres and is home to bears, wolves, eagles, and massive spruce trees. It's also a key carbon sink, helping fight climate change. California is full of extremes. Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain in the continental US, and Death Valley's the lowest point in North America, are only about 85 miles apart. Mount Whitney stands 14,505 feet tall, while Death Valley's Badwater Basin sits 282 feet below sea level. That's like nature showing off. The Mississippi River Basin covers 1.2 million square miles. That's about 41% of the continental US. It collects water from 31 states and drains into the Gulf of Mexico. Back in 1811 and 1812, massive earthquakes actually caused parts of the river to flow backward for a short time. That's how powerful those quakes were. Before we move on to the weirdest part, a quick one. Hey, if you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. Now let's talk about something wild. The graveyard of the Pacific. That's what they call the treacherous waters off the Pacific Northwest coast, especially around the Columbia River Bar. Over 2,000 ships have sunk there, because of violent storms, shifting sandbars, and strong currents. Even with modern navigation, it's still considered one of the most dangerous waterways in the world. Kentucky's Mammoth Cave is the longest known cave system on Earth, with over 400 miles of mapped passageways. It's like an underground world, complete with unique animals and ecosystems that exist nowhere else. The United States doesn't just have hot deserts like the Mojave, it also has cold deserts, like the Great Basin Desert in Nevada and Utah. These deserts actually get snow in the winter. They're high in elevation and super dry, which makes them really unique ecosystems. And finally, Hawaii's Big Island is literally growing. The Kilauea volcano constantly erupts and sends lava flowing into the ocean, where it cools and forms new land. It's one of the only places on Earth where you can watch new land being created in real time. The planet's still alive and kicking, and Hawaii proves it.